The mockery and shenanigans from Gavin Newsom and the press office of Gavin Newsom continues. Take this screenshot if you need it. So we have Gavin Newsom on some type of tank. There's an American flag behind him, a California flag behind him, and of course you got to have the fireworks. So this says, God, or should I say Gavin, bless you, because you are literally God. And the press office says, thank you, Patriot, very kind. I am not God, but many people rightfully get confused. GCN. That was a tweet from yesterday, but y'all needed to see it today. Now, I don't really know what's going on between the press office of Gavin Newsom and Joe Rogan, but they put this picture out just in case you need it. Go ahead and take a screenshot. But it's a picture. It says snack size Rogan. Little Joe is snack size because he can't handle full-sized debates. So for whatever reason, Gavin Newsom and Joe Rogan are going at it. Another post from the press office, they're saying MAGA is saying this. How dare you call us fascists and Schnazis? It says also MAGA. And then they give us this screenshot of a headline from Time magazine saying, White House shrugs off leaked chats from young Republicans praising Schnittler. And this is some of the young Republicans, and many of these people look quite middle-aged. Look at these people, supposedly young Republicans, but their chats got leaked. It shows how bigoted these people are. They're sitting up here laughing and joking about gas chambers and making misogynistic and racist and all kind of bigoted chat messages. And that's the thing. So many of the Republicans did not say, you know what, this is wrong, this is vile. But the organization got disbanded today. So this is another article from Politico. Politico is the one that broke the story about them and their chat messages. But Politico broke this as well. New York State young Republicans disbanded after racist group chat. Things are really, really unaffordable right now. The housing market is one of those things. This is a tweet from, or a thread from the bar chart. And they said U.S. housing market has reached its most unaffordable level in history. And so right here, this first hump right here is right before the housing bubble burst in 2008. And so now we see another bubble. You see this line is going up, up, up. Things are about to crash down right now. Our economy coming in the next few months is going to be completely jacked up. Right now, we're seeing things go up and up and up, but how long can things really sustain this way? Gavin Newsom reshared that and he says, great work, Donald Trump. Spencer Hakimian commented on Gavin Newsom's post saying, but he promised that prices would go all the way down on day one. And, you know, he learned the word groceries a couple of months ago, and he said he was going to get those down too on day one. That has all been a lie. Jan says, well, he is a pathological liar, so there's that. He's a liar. He's a fraudster. He's a con man. And we all know that Donald Trump is a felon. And he loves his felons. And so this should come as no surprise that he loves palling around with other felons. So he commuted the sentence of George Santos. This was from his live social post. This literally just broke. George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison. I started to think about George when the subject of Democrat Senator Richard Da Nang Dick Blumenthal came up again. As everyone remembers, Da Nang stated for almost 20 years that he was a proud Vietnam veteran, having endured the worst of the war, watching the wounded and the dead, and he just keeps capitalizing random stuff. The wounded and the dead as he raced up hills and down valleys, blood streaming from his face. He was a great war hero. He would leak to any and all who would listen. And then it happened. He was a complete and total fraud. He never went to Vietnam. He never saw Vietnam. He never experienced the battles there or anywhere else. His war hero status and even minimal service to our military was totally and completely made up. This is far worse than what George Santos did, and at least Santos had the courage, conviction, and intelligence to always vote Republican. So if you are a felon, just at least vote Republican. Like, the fact that he typed up all of this, or someone typed it up on his behalf, bringing somebody else in Vietnam up into it, this is demented. All right, so he votes Republican. Cool. So let's get him out of jail. It says George has been in solitary confinement for long stretches of time and by all accounts has been horribly mistreated. Therefore, I just signed a commutation releasing George Santos from prison immediately. Good luck, George. Have a great life. So you can be a Republican and a felon because who gives a damn about law and order anymore? But remember, soon as Donald Trump came into office, he released hundreds of failed insurrectionists back on the streets. These people went in there trying to overthrow the Capitol. They were trying to hang folks. But this is the party of Donald Trump and MAGA. They are all about lawlessness. So remember that the No King's Day parade is tomorrow, and people are going to be out all over the country and actually all over the world. There's going to be people from different countries out protesting because Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans are out here literally destroying the global economy. So the press office of Gavin Newsom is talking to this woman, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet, asking, have you condemned your friends who praised Schnittler in the gas chambers yet? Because all of these Republicans are sitting up here like they are just imagining that the protesters for tomorrow are Hamas people and illegal aliens and criminals and all of that. And that's what they are all saying. But they are not condemning the people that absolutely love gas chambers and, hanging folks and calling black folks watermelon people. Underneath that post, this person named G.P. Dalton says, it was just locker room talk. You have to look at the screen because this chubby dude right here. It was just locker room talk. And then it says, bro, none of these guys have ever seen a locker room. Not by choice. Definitely not by choice. This is another tweet from the press office. It says, Newsom RX, making insulin affordable again. Now, let's look at the caption with this picture. It says, I, Gavin C. Newsom, have done what Trump could never do. I made insulin affordable again. Many people are calling me the savior, the next jailed healer, and the next Dr. McDreamy starting January 1st. Just $11 a dose. No gimmicks, no fake promises. Real insulin at the lowest price you could ever imagine. Dozy Don talks about lowering drug costs, but cannot stay awake long enough to fix it. I actually did it in 3 months. You can buy it. You are welcome. California. Also, Ozempic is next for the big ones like Trump. Slim down, Donnie. Get your shots at newsomprescription.org. Gavin Newsom and the press office of Gavin Newsom must really get under Donald Trump's skin because he was like, I did insulin, whatever I did insulin means. I got it down to like $25. I got it way down. What was it before that? It was massive. I watched this Biden taking credit for something I did. He needs to talk about insulin because Gavin Newsom is all like, insulin will be $11 in California.
Because I did insulin and got it down to like $25. And I said, boy, I hope I win this election because if I don't, somebody else is going to take credit for it, Bobby.
Here we go with Gavin Newsom again talking about MAGA Mike. He says, sad Mike has a toddler temper tantrum because MAGA Mike is still getting questions about why he's not reopening, why he's not swearing in the representative from Arizona, why he's still making sure that Americans are losing health care and all of that. He says, I don't like being mad, Mike. I want to be happy, Mike. I want to be a happy warrior, but I'm so upset about all of this. God bless America. They want to keep blaming everything on the Democrats as far as the reasons why they are keeping everything closed down. But they just want to make sure that these Trumpstein files don't come out. He's really trying to keep people away from work, Republicans away from work, to protect Donald Trump. Republicans continue to postpone the swearing in of Adelita Gravalha, the newest Democrat elected to Congress, for the 17th day. Gavin Newsom calls them cowards, calls Mad Mike a coward because they will not let Adelita Gravalha come into office and swear her in. Mike Johnson had the nerve to talk about, why doesn't she just go to work? Why doesn't she just go to work for her constituents? because you won't swear her in on purpose. Another tweet from Gavin Newsom, he's talking about a soybean farmer, is saying, this is a man-made crisis caused by Donald Trump. I blame the farmers. The farmers overwhelmingly voted for this. This is what they wanted. They deserve all that they are getting as far as getting screwed 5 different ways. I love this comment that's underneath Gavin Newsom's tweet. It says, and yet, not a single media outlet asked the question, who did you vote for? It's also a farmer self-induced crisis. I'm sorry, they overwhelmingly voted 3 times for him, even after what he did to them in 2018. So sorry, you literally reap what you sow. I have zero sympathy for them helping tank all of America with their racist bigotry. And then we got Rusty Weenus that just says, I love white people. But I completely agree with Tiger alumni. The press office now has a Threads account, and they posted this. So here's Donald Trump with Javier Milei in the Oval Office, which is now gold and gaudy and tacky. It says, so this is from the White House right here. President Donald J. Trump and the president of Argentina, Javier Milei. And then the press office says, our amazing president and the American farmer he bailed out. So here's the American farmer. And we all know that this is him bailing out Argentina. This person commented underneath the Threads post saying, this is wrong. This photo is of Trump and the president of Argentina, whom Trump has said the U.S. will loan Argentina $20 billion. This fellow beside Trump is not a U.S. farmer. Yes, our real U.S. farmers are getting zip. This loan will also cost our citizens subsidies on healthcare, including Medicaid, and Medicare. And don't forget Social Security too. Are we having fun yet? I had to comment on this one. I'm like, you're like, nuh-uh, that's no farmer. And the rest of us are like, yeah, wow, buddy, duh. I had to post this picture of Dwight saying, false. Because this person really thought that the press office didn't know who that was. And that was hysterical to me. And then finally, for no particular reason, we have Fat JD Vance holding this balloon of Donald Trump and his neckgina. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think about all of this.